Hey everybody, DoctorDeadwax here, and Mark, and I'm back to do another recent vinyl finds. The next recent, this is the last one of the series from the LPs I picked up on my first buy of 2012. This is the stuff that actually cost a bit of money, and just going to finish that off now so I can start moving on with some other things. Just want to clean up a couple things first. I don't know if everybody else has noticed, but the YouTube PM system is just completely borked right now. When you hit reply to a message that somebody has sent to you, you can type out your whole response and send it, but if you actually check the sent folder, it hasn't actually gone anywhere. When you hit reply, you'll notice instead of the name of the person you're sending it to, it's just a bunch of googly code, and nothing's going out. So I've sent my email address to a couple of people, especially Kevin, collector of music. I got one message from you, and I sent you my email. So send me an email because I want to finish talking to you about what we were talking about. Okay, so this is the last of the stuff, and there's some really good stuff in here. The first record is one I've been looking for a copy of this for 4 years. I've bought 6 copies of it that are total shit. I even bought 2 off this guy online who sells through like he sells through a forum on one of the big audio websites, and everybody says he's like the best seller, blah blah blah, and everything. And he has this really weird grading system. He doesn't use like near mint, VG plus, and he doesn't use even like letters. He just uses like, it's weird. Anyway, he's got this great reputation. He was selling Kind of Blue as like pristine. I bought it off him for like $100, and it's got this huge check mark scratch through one side that ticks for like 11 minutes. And then on the other side, it's got a scratch that ticks for like 8. So it wasn't pristine anyway. And I bought another copy off for 25 at the same time. And if you think the first one was pristine, you should have seen the second one. And I picked up a copy somewhere else. I picked up a 80s, 70s reissue. That wasn't bad. But I finally got a 6-eye that I really wanted. And of course, that's Kind of Blue. This cost me $9. This is Columbia 6-eye Kind of Blue, and that's actually a piece of lint there. But as you can see, this record is about as perfect as it could be. And this has 1K stampers on one side and 1E stampers on the other. So I mean, it's not 1A stampers on both sides, but hell, it's fantastic. It sounds really good. Oh yeah, I also have a Canadian pressing of this that looks perfect and has some sort of futz in it that not even an enzyme will take out. And it's zzz, zzz. So I'm just over the moon to finally get a copy of this that's playable and has like some very, very minor sonic issues for moments. This sounds great. This one's a stereo. I'm still looking for a mono. You know, the cover's been taped with Scotch tape, and it's been split. Now, here's something for everybody. I think this is a project we should consider. I don't know, maybe we don't need to, because I'm the only one who buys records that are beat to shit. But everybody else seems to buy near mint stuff. But it'd be nice to figure out a way to fix this issue without ruining what's there. I have records that are split the whole way across. It'd be nice. I know there's like a paper that has like a thread in it that's kind of like a reinforcement, but I don't know how like you'd ever get that inside here to a certain point. Maybe somebody else has already figured this out, but it'd be nice, like maybe if it was heat activated and you could just hit that with a hair. You could hit this with a hairdryer once this folded tape was in, and then you'd have a reinforced band. And for records that we get that are new, that haven't been shipped properly or are brand new and were shipped they were shipped sealed, and you get that slight little split up here in the middle. You know, you get it like here. It'd be nice to have some sort of tape that folded that you could slip in, and then you just you take the record out, of course, but maybe hit that with a hairdryer, and that would have like that paper with the reinforced thread that would, you know, protect that split from growing. It'd be nice to figure out some sort of, maybe somebody already has a solution. Maybe Blake the Genius could figure this out, because, you know, he's figured everything out so far so well. Some of the archivists that are out there, they might know of a way. But it would be nice to figure out a way to stop these things from getting worse. I know some people like are at the point now where they're keeping their records outside of their covers in the outer plastic sleeve, which, you know, that's great if that's what you want to do, but personally that's not a very good idea, because if this ever slips out of my hand, all wrapped up in a nice little package and, you know, with the outer, but it bounces off a piece of furniture or something, this record's going to get a score across it that it wouldn't get if it was inside this sleeve. But people aren't putting these inside the sleeves because they don't want to make the split grow any bigger. That would be, you know, another reason why it'd be good to find a working solution. Anyway, anybody's got any thoughts on that? You know, I know, aside from buying like records that are beat to shit. Anyway, so that was like just an awesome thing to find. I couldn't believe my luck when I saw that, and that was great. It was lucky I got that because I got in the back room, and I got to actually pick through stuff before it ever got. That didn't even have a price on it. That had just come in, so that was really good. Next is a bootleg, and the cover looks kind of totally beat to shit, but I mean, this is just a piece of crap white cardboard. I gotta find like a plain white sleeve at some point, and then you could, you know, I've got most of this off already. You just peel this off and then you attach it to the next one. That's the way they were made. But this is Grateful Dead, and this is Mountains of the Moon, which is a collection of outtakes and unreleased cuts from the Oxoa record. Jeez, I don't know how to say that at all. I've never actually heard that record. And a couple Warlocks demos and stuff like that. And this is Big Bang Records YLEM1. I paid $10 for this. I don't typically, you know, I'm told this buy had like 1, 2, 3 Grateful Dead records in it, and I literally had one Grateful Dead record before I was out that day, so I only had Working Man's Dead. So this is actually really good. This is, you know, this is a bootleg of studio material, so this sounds really good. Rumor is some people say the band actually let these tapes get floated out, or who knows, but typical boot. There's nothing on the label at all, and the previous owner has written side 1 and side 2 on them, just so you could tell. It's in near mint condition. It sounds great. It has some great moments on it, some alternate takes of songs. I think there's something people, Deadheads, really like on here, because it has, maybe it's Bob Weir playing bagpipes. Anyway, so that was a good find. And $10, and that's actually worth a bit of coin. When you look that up on PopPsych, that sold for like $50, so that was a great find. Next, another fantastic, you know, Atlantic record, and from somebody that I just, you know, I cannot find enough of his material, and this is Freddie Hubbard, High Blues Pressure, and this is a smoking Freddie Hubbard album. I believe he just left. No, I think this is just before he went to CTI, and wow, this is, you know, this is why Creed was trying to steal him from Atlantic to CTI, or contractually bind him to CTI. And the music on this, this is just fantastic, and it's got a great set of players. Freddie Hubbard, Jane Spalding, Weldon Irvine, Herbie Lewis, Freddie Waits, Roman Dog Brodus, and Bernie Maupin. And Bernie Maupin on here, he plays tenor sax, and I think that's just incredible, because I mean, he's written lyrics for Elton John for like 35 or 40 years and had so many hits. And I had no idea the guy could play saxophone too. So anyway, this record, it just smokes. It just absolutely smokes. I'm not 100% sure. I think this is slightly later than it should be pressing wise. Again, this still has like first plate stampers, but I'm pretty sure the label's wrong. So I think it's like with the 1501, it's pretty close to the transition from the mono/stereo label to the orange and green label. So anyway, Freddie Hubbard High Blues Pressure. If you see this out there, I highly recommend it. This is one of the best Freddie Hubbard records I've ever heard, except for the 3 great ones on CTI. Actually, no, this might be better than 2 of those. Also, it's from that great period on Atlantic, you know, early to mid to late 60s. Just cannot get enough of that. Next is another cool record. This is Grateful Dead. It's got the sticker on it. It's a gatefold. Some people call this, I think, Skeleton and Roses or Skull and Roses. This is a live set, I believe. And it's incredible. It's got Merle Saunders playing on it too. More interesting about this is also that it's a white label promo. I'm not 100% sure if this is a first white label promo, but I think it is. And it has the artisan logo of the circle within the circle with the 2 like drumsticks across the snare drum. Actually, the arms of the letter A. It has that on all 4, so that's great to find. This was just an amazing deal. This was $17, and $17.99, $18. So I could not buy that either. The covers, the cover's pooched. Again, it's had its day, and it's got tape along this edge. Somebody wrote me. Somebody's been commenting on it. Several of my threads, like saying, "VG, your covers or your records look like shit" or something. The records are, typically this record, the vinyl in here is near mint, and that's what I'm always. I've said it before. That's what I'm interested in. I'm interested in records that are clean, or as clean, like VG plus to near mint. Unless they're a buck, then I'll take a stab at anything just to experience the music. So if you see me holding this up, the records inside are great. I don't give a shit about the covers. So anyway, that was another great find. Great live music, great stuff. White label promo. Next is something I bought because Dwayne had picked it up recently and was talking about it. And I came across it, and it had all the things in it that made Dwayne buy the copy he bought. And that's Frank Zappa's 200 Motels. Again, this is a gatefold. And this is a soundtrack to a movie that he did. It's on United Artists. It has the this is something else I like to do, is to put the artwork and stuff, the booklets and stuff, into another sleeve, because if you're sliding the record in and out, you could catch a seam on a poster and tear a seam. So anyway, that's something else I like to do. So this had the poster in it that Dwayne pointed out should be in it, the 200 Motels, and it has the booklet in it as well. I'm not a huge Frank Zappa fan. I've never. I know. I'm committing blasphemy here, but just not a guy I've ever really been into. I've often found I don't know, the lyrical content of his music has been a little sophomoric and you know, the kind of stuff that was funny to boys in Catholic school at grade 9 and 10, but as a man my age, they don't really work for me. Then I would have to say that the same thing goes for this album. I think the music on here is really interesting. I think the even the orchestral stuff, I really enjoyed the music, but every so often the lyrics would kick in, and I just be like, holy fuck, what's he, you know. But anyway, this was $23, so I looked it up online. Not a great buy, but to actually find it and put it in my hands for that price with the posters and everything in it, you know, maybe find a better cover, but good enough. And I think this is I have a Mothers of Invention album, the white one at Fillmore, or maybe it's just a Mothers album. And I think I have Zoot Allure, so I really don't have a hell of a lot of Zappa, so it's fun to pick up and check it out and see if my tastes are changing or if I devolving, whatever. And then, so that's the end of that. And then the last three things are just some sealed records that were also there. This is the Cars, Heartbeat City. I bought it because it's sealed. It was $3. This is Charlie Bird, Bossa Nova, Pelos, Pasaros. This is an original jazz classics, an OJC reissue from the 1980s. These are really good. These, if you see these are original jazz classics, OJCs, oh shit, it's under here, but it'll usually say like OJC and a number there. And you know, sometimes they'll have the OB on them, sometimes the OB will be stuffed in them. As far as like reissues go, these OJCs from the 1980s aren't bad, and you can find some pretty damn good records for quite often like $8 or $10. There's a bunch of Miles Davis Prestige dates that are re-released as these OJCs that they should be pretty cheap. If somebody's selling you these OJCs for like $25, you know, they're just taking advantage of the situation. So anyway, so that was sealed. That was $3. And the final one is Michael or Michelle Petrucciani trio, Pianism. This is a later Blue Note pressing from the 1980s. I think it's it says it's 1986. And this is actually a Canadian pressing with some sort of a monster cutout hole. Delete, but this was sealed too, and this was $8. And I like him. He was a dwarf or a little person, and he was a hell of a good piano player. And he also had a good band. He unfortunately died young due to the complications of his genetic condition. So that's everything that was in that buy. And now I can move on to something else. I hope a couple of people there that asked me to show everything. I hope it was interesting. Not a hell of a lot of DeadWax info in that batch, but anyway, have a great day and keep the record spinning.